All right, welcome back to the channel, subscribers. Let me talk about a little middleweight action. Demetrius, Andrade. I'm pushing for a couple fights in boxing, man. I'm pushing for Demetrius, Andrade, Jamal, Charlo, and I'm pushing for Terrence Crawford and Sean Porter, because I want to see those fights, man. Not every fight is some gigantic mega fight. Some fights are just really good fights that you want to see. Let's talk about Demetrius, Andrade calling out Charlo again, kind of, in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel, subscribers. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And also, special thank you to everybody that joined the channel. The memberships, you can hit join right there if you're a member of the LDBC and you're constantly coming to the channels and checking out our videos. It would be greatly appreciated. We use the funds to support other boxers, to support young up-and-coming boxers. And we just did our first sponsorship, so thank you guys so much for having joined. Also, thank you so much to the Patreons and the live stream community. Much love for you guys' support. Make sure you're there Sunday, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time for OG Boxing Talk with Blood, KQKC, Trap House Boxing, and Curtis Anderson. I was so afraid that I just cut this video off by slapping my keyboard. All right, let's get into this. Demetrius Andrade said, hey man, if you're serious about fighting me and you're your own boss, Jermall, then hey, it should just be one call and we can make this fight happen. Jamal Charlo I hear in the post-fight press conference said he would be open to fighting Demetrius Andrade or Gennady Golovkin or obviously Canelo Alvarez, because these guys are all the champions at 160 pounds. Jermall Charlo's the WBC champion. Canelo Alvarez is 160, is a WBA champion, but he's gone, you know, off into the cloud somewhere. And there's Gennady Golovkin, who obviously is waiting for somebody to fly him up to the cloud that Canelo Alvarez is floating around in, going between weight classes for fights that I just like, why? You know what I mean? Why? But I know why. And safety. Money and safety, that's why. But that leaves us with the other two champions that neither one of those two guys, Gennady Golovkin or Canelo Alvarez, want to fight. And that's Demetrius Andrade and Jamal Charlo. Jamal Charlo just came off an excellent win against Dennis Hogan. Hit that boy so hard, he did a backflip in the ring. Absolutely, positively hilarious. And just a dominating performance against a guy that was kind of awkward, who fights in a way, basically fights to survive. He moves around a lot. He hits these kind of winging awkward shots that you might not see coming, right? Very awkward style in Dennis Hogan. But Jamal Charlo in that fight, just, man, I love what I saw in that fight because he stalked Dennis Hogan, but you could see that when he was stalking him that he was the faster guy. He was the more athletic guy. He was the more fundamentally sound guy. And as soon as he really put his hands on Dennis Hogan, the fight was over. Now, you have a guy in Demetrius Andrade, though, who as a southpaw is also a guy that moves and counters, but just on a whole different level from a guy like Dennis Hogan. It could very well be the case that fight between Jamal Charlo and Demetrius Andrade could really be the fight for who the best 160 pounder is. Now, here is a theme that I've been talking about over the last week, definitely since Anthony Joshua had won his belt back, right? And that is this hiding behind something that we see a lot in boxing. People hiding behind numbers, hiding behind quote-unquote popularity as a way to get out of fighting certain fighters. So, take, for example, the argument that goes on with Demetrius, that goes on with Anthony Joshua, right? And it goes on with Canelo. So they'll say, hey, Canelo Alvarez, let's just do Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez is the most popular fighter in the world, right? I don't know if that's the case, but he's very popular, clearly. And let's just say for sure, in the middleweight division, Canelo Alvarez is his fights earn the most money, and he has the biggest name, the most well-known name, and is the most recognized person in the welterweight middleweight division. I think that's fair to say. So, what somebody who wants to hide behind the numbers will say is confuse popularity for ability and say, well, we know Canelo Alvarez, Jermall Charlo cannot beat Canelo Alvarez because look how big a star Canelo Alvarez is. Look at all these other big names that Canelo Alvarez has fought. Who has Jermall Charlo fought? Jermall Charlo can't sell out. He can't draw flies to a dumpster. Jermall Charlo doesn't have any Twitter feeds. Look at the arena. The arenas are empty, right? So that you put those facts out there, or those so quote unquote facts out there, is a way to justify Canelo Alvarez not fighting Jermall Charlo. None of those address whether or not Jermall Charlo is actually a good fighter or not, and whether or not he is a good enough fighter to challenge Canelo Alvarez, and whether he could be able to beat Canelo Alvarez, and therefore it be a fair fight and a fight that should be made. They hide behind the numbers, and that is what's taking. That is what's taking place in the welterweight division and in the middleweight division with both Canelo Alvarez and Gennady Golovkin. But the truth of the matter is, at least mine, is that the best fighter in the middleweight division is probably either Jermall Charlo or Demetrius Andrade. They have opposite styles. Now, styles make fights, obviously, but there ain't no guarantee that Canelo Alvarez is going to beat Jermall Charlo. I personally believe that if Canelo Alvarez was really believed that it was that easy of money to beat Jermall Charlo, they would have already fought. They would have fought at 154 pounds. And that definitely would have been the case if Canelo Alvarez thought it was easy money with Demetrius Andrade. Because if Canelo thought it was easy money with Demetrius Andrade, he wouldn't have, for that WBO belt at 154 pounds, Canelo Alvarez wouldn't have waited until Demetrius Andrade had to vacate the belt in order to fight the guy that then picked it up in Liam Walsh or Liam Smith, right? So Canelo would fight Liam Smith, but he wouldn't fight Demetrius Andrade. Obviously, that's for a reason. Demetrius Andrade is a significantly better fighter than Liam Walsh. So when you look at these arguments that people make for why these fights shouldn't happen, why they're hiding behind these numbers, think about this. What are the ticket sales for? What are the ticket sales and the pay-per-view numbers for Kovalev? He doesn't have some great history of selling out stadiums. He doesn't have some great history of being this super popular fighter in the United States. Not any more than Jermall Charlo. He already got knocked out twice. So what's the difference? The difference is, in my opinion, is that Sergey Kovalev got knocked out twice. Since he got knocked out twice, Canelo Alvarez knows he can win it. That's what I believe. Same thing for Liam Smith. Clearly, Liam Smith or Liam Walsh, whatever his name, whoever he is, was not any better known, or more skilled or more accomplished fighter than Demetrius Andrade was. So why would Charlo choose to pick Liam Walsh for the WBO belt and not Demetrius Andrade for that belt? Right? So clearly there's some shenanigans going on. But that's what's going to happen. Just pointing out that that's the fact is not going to change it, prevent that from being the fact. There are people who are going to continue to hide behind manufactured numbers, exaggerated numbers that have not been made public, numbers that are not verifiable, and if they are obviously very large, like in the case of Canelo Alvarez or in the case of Floyd Mayweather Jr., many fans are just going to accept it because they really don't want to see their fighter lose. They don't want to see their fighter put in a tough situation. So it winds up being the case that guys like Jermall Charlo and Demetrius Andrade are going to have to fend for themselves. And the best way for these guys to fend for themselves is to fight each other. If Jermall Charlo beats Demetrius Andrade, then he's the WBO and the WBC champion. He's a unified champion. He's holding two of the belts. I don't think that that's going to push these Canelo and these guys any closer to fighting them, but at least it will start generating interest for him in his own fan base, grow his own fan base, and continue and just to do it from the ground up and do it organically. That's how Deontay Wilder did it. None of those guys want to fight Deontay Wilder. They'll continue to lie. These guys and their fans can lie all day about how Deontay Wilder's ducking this guy or ducking that guy, and why didn't he unify yet? He didn't unify because these guys don't want to fight him. Period. That's why. That's the same. Why? You might as well be asking, why hasn't Jermall Charlo already beaten Canelo? What would make you think Jermall Charlo can beat Canelo? Jermall Charlo hasn't beaten Canelo. Why hasn't he fought Canelo? Why hasn't Jermall Charlo fought Gennady Golovkin? Right? Why hasn't Demetrius Andrade fought Gennady Golovkin? Why hasn't Demetrius Andrade fought Charlo? Because they don't want to fight him. And he can't make him fight him. That's why Deontay Wilder didn't fight Anthony Joshua. Because Anthony Joshua didn't want to fight him. That's why. Why didn't Deontay Wilder not fight Charles Martin? Because Charles Martin didn't want to fight him. You act like he can just grab him by the back of the neck and put him in the ring. He built his own fan base, and now these guys who still don't want to fight him are in a position of having to justify not doing it on a very, very large scale. And eventually, you know, the saying goes, the truth will out, and you'll see what's up. Anyway, it is what it is. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.